Hello everyone and welcome back. This edition we are going to be watching a screencast in which you will learn how to complete an outline for your research paper. You're going to need to log back on to NoodleTools, and the link is located on Ms. Wismar's Media Center website on Moodle. And remember, you are going to need to put in your personal ID and password which you created when making the note cards. So you're back on your projects page and you're going to choose the research paper project which you already began. And you're going to log on to the dashboard for that paper. So my question was, should marijuana be legalized? And I've actually improved upon my thesis statement since we first discussed it, and I've added some topics that I'm going to be covering in the research paper. So my new statement is now, marijuana should be legalized when used medicinally because it has exceptional health benefits. It reduces pain in cancer patients, it relieves epileptic seizures, and it is less harmful than tobacco. So that's a more complete thesis statement, and I'd like to see you do that with yours as well. So remember, I've got my to-do list here, and I've already completed my note cards, so now it's time to complete my outline. So I'm going to bring you back to the note card and outline page. Now remember, you do need to have 20 different note cards, and you're going to need to place them in various places on your outline. I only have 2 right now, but this is just for the sake of a sample. So remember, this is my tabletop for my note cards, and to the right is the beginning of my outline. Now, you have a really great option here with NoodleTools because you can create your outline right on NoodleTools. And in the end, you are going to print me out a formal copy of this. However, you have the option to just create it on here and drag and drop some of these note cards. So if you'll notice over here, I've started with my first major point. Marijuana has positive effects on the sick. And my subheading is marijuana is used in cancer patients. And I've got my note card right here, and if I want to add the quotation, and remember your outline does require quotations, I'm going to drag and drop it right into this segment. And now 1A has my quotation about marijuana being used with cancer patients. And if you forget what that looks like, let's view the details of that note card. I had a quote, and I actually paraphrased it as well. And I remembered to get the author and the page number for the citation. So that's what my note card looks like. And if I want to edit it, I can choose the option of editing it as well. But now I've got this beautiful outline in the works over here, and I could print it right from here, or I can cut and paste my options to a more formal document like Microsoft Word. So I'm going to show you what this has the potential to look like since this one is just beginning. So I'm going to show you the example that is provided in the research paper packet first, because this kind of explains a little bit about what an outline is like. So the purpose of the outline is to serve as a virtual map of the essay. Traditionally, the outline is segmented according to the proofs of your thesis statement. The outline begins with the correct MLA heading, followed by the paper's title and thesis statement. Then the major topics of the paper are carefully laid out. So we have major ideas are followed by a Roman numeral. Then we have the supporting ideas in which you start with A, B, or C. And any further details, and this is where your quotations are going to be under 1, 2, and 3. So that will show you how you're going to create this outline. Here's an example of a topic outline. However, this is related to a literary analysis paper in which someone read the play The Crucible. So Joe's student was kind enough to provide MLA format at the top, and this is what I expect, and an interesting title. He didn't just say The Crucible was his title, but he actually came up with something creative. Then he started his outline with his thesis statement. And his thesis is, therefore, in Arthur Miller's play, The Crucible, courage can ultimately lead to destruction, as witnessed through John Proctor's confession of adultery, his inability to betray his friends, and his willingness to sacrifice his life. So you can see that he has 3 major points here, and he has put them into 3, oops, went a little too far. He has put them into 3 separate Roman numerals. So let's look at the first one, Confessions of Adultery. That's his main topic for that paragraph, or maybe multiple paragraphs, but that is his first idea. And it's followed by a smaller idea. For example, he admits to an affair with Abigail, he tarnishes his reputation, and his attempt to expose Abigail fails. And if you want to add further detail, you've got these smaller numbers, 1 and 2, to add. Elizabeth denies the affair and Mary turns on Proctor. And like I said, with an opposing viewpoints paper, this is probably where you're going to include your quotations. So let's look at something that really applies more so to you. And I've created a bit of a sample. I got started on my outline. And here is Joe Student's outline about the uses of medical marijuana. And once again, notice we've got a proper MLA heading, we've got an interesting title, and we've got a thesis at the top. And that is the same exact thesis that was provided in my NoodleTools page. So marijuana should be legalized for many medical benefits it possesses. It eases the suffering of cancer patients. It controls epileptic seizures, and it's better for your lungs than tobacco. Sorry, it's hard to talk so much sometimes. Anyways, Roman numeral 1, marijuana eases the suffering of cancer patients. Followed by letter A, it relieves symptoms of chemotherapy. So notice how it gets more specific as we move through the outline. And then I provide a quotation to support that. Even the National Cancer Institute states that medicinal marijuana, spelled wrong, can ease symptoms of chemotherapy, reducing nausea, increasing appetite, and relieving pain. So notice how I've got my major idea followed by smaller ideas and then quotations to prove it. So I'm expecting your outline to look a lot like this, and I'm also expecting you to proofread it before you send it to me. So those edits that I just made as I was proofreading are very important to do as well. And in the end, you're going to have a beautiful outline filled with many major points and many quotations. So I want to have the quotations that you're going to be using in the outline to be what drives this paper. So we're going to go back to NoodleTools. And just as a reminder, now part of this note card makes a lot more sense. So we're going to look at this note card in a little bit more detail. And remember, I actually had a heading for this. Marijuana is used in cancer patients. And now that 1A makes a lot more sense because that directly links with the place it's going to be put in the outline. So if you didn't do this initially with your note cards, you're going to go back and you're going to add a proper placement. You're going to add a Roman numeral, you're going to add a letter when appropriate, and you're going to add this quotation. So this is the way to improve upon your note cards and have a more complete note card that links directly with your outline. So you have two ways of doing this. You can type your outline directly on the NoodleTools, but then you're going to spice it up and make it look better in a Word document, or you can simply type the entire thing in a Word document. It is entirely up to you. And remember, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask and do not hesitate to email me. Thanks and have a great day. Good luck with your research.